Today is October 15th, 2015. This is my review of the Retrofit Source in Atlanta, Georgia, and the Retrofit Source associated parts. It's a bit of a long story, but I'll try to make it as short as possible. 2 years ago, I bought a set of Anzo projector halo xenon assemblies from a West Coast place called Pro Tuning Labs. They had put their own xenon ballasts in here, and long story short, it was a disaster. The ballasts had corrupted. Every 6 months one was corrupting, breaking down. So I got flickering, flashing, ballasts going out, burning out. So I called up a local place. I figured, you know what, I'm going to keep it local. That way I can go back to the retailer in case there are problems. I picked the Retrofit Source based on a couple of reviews I found in online forums. I purchased two of their XB ballasts, 35 watt ballasts, and installed them with my own installer. I have a Dodge Nitro RT. About a week after I had installed the XB ballasts, I began to notice as I was driving that one of my lights or the other light would go out. I could reignite it by turning my lights off and on, but then the duration that it would stay on was shorter and shorter and shorter. So I went back to the Retrofit Source and I said, listen guys, I am sick and tired of people giving me a raw deal on these. And I explained my whole Pro Tuning Labs experience. And I said, listen, we need to come up with a solution. And I spoke with the owner of the Retrofit Source. And the cool thing with this guy is that he understood the power of solutions. And we agreed on a solution. And that required a little bit more work on their end. Unlike Pro Tuning Labs in California, where they essentially just wanted to absolve themselves of any kind of responsibility, wash their hands of me and say, here are the parts, goodbye. So the Retrofit Source of Atlanta, Georgia, I brought my car down there and they said, this could be one of your problems after looking at my car. The harnesses on the Dodge Nitro are not sufficient enough to power xenon headlights, so you're going to have inconsistencies and irregularities. This does not excuse Pro Tuning Labs putting cheap Chinese ballasts in my Anzo projectors, which did corrupt every 6 months. Not having harnesses was not the problem with that. They were just cheap Chinese ballasts. So we brought the car in, they put new harnesses on the car, and ever since then, my xenons, the Pro Tuning Labs xenons, the XBs, the Morimotos, have been steadfast, unwaverable. They've been that way for 6 months. They have also fixed the halo inconsistencies. Like 1 out of every 7 times I'd start my car and turn the lights on, one of the halos wouldn't turn on. So it was through the diplomacy and really wanting to get things right that the Retrofit Source has really won me. I mean, I've gotten everything on the front of my car I think I want, but I would definitely recommend the Retrofit Source, even if you're outside of the Atlanta area, because it does seem to me that the owner of this shop understands customer loyalty and fixing problems with cars that they might not have picked up at first, because they could have told me that I should have had harnesses with this when I brought it in to begin with, but they owned that. So the Retrofit Source, they own little mistakes, but they've got an amazing product and they have a good solution-making team, including the owner. All right, so that's my review. Oh yeah, that's right. It's not my review. Pro Tuning Labs on the West Coast sold me a caution interrupter so that my caution lights wouldn't go on, that there was a problem with my headlights after putting these retrofit Anzos on it. Turns out that they didn't even know enough about a Dodge Nitro to know that those were not necessary, but they sold them to me anyway at a cost of $35. They weren't even necessary on a Dodge Nitro RT. The Retrofit Source and the owner there knew that they weren't needed. So there's always a lot, there's a bigger amount of product knowledge and systems knowledge involved with the people working at the Retrofit Source. Okay, that now ends my excellent review of the Retrofit Source and their Morimoto XBs. Thanks, bye.